I am sure about that.
This is just 2016, Dr. Okupe, and it's almost close to midnight of 2017, and your party has been working towards 2019, and in some other states working towards the governorship election. Do you see some kind of black leg within the PDP trying to upset the apple cart, making it impossible for the PDP to come together? Because as it stands now, there's chaos in some camps within the PDP.
If I said there are black legs in the PDP trying to bring the PDP down, I would be running away from reality. I would not be speaking the truth, and that is not in my character. The truth of the matter, like Shakespeare said, the fault, dear Brutus, is in us, not in our gods. We are suffering from the collective, actions that we have taken in the past, from our failure to obey our own rules, from our entrenching impunity as a standard normal practice, a standard practice in our party, of allowing brigandry and excessive use of money to buy offices, to buy candidacy. These are the consequences of that action. Those actions that we have taken. What you see now is a very florid sign and symptoms of failure of leadership. Failure of leadership. Either before we left government or shortly after that, the leadership ought to have come together, knowing that we are likely going to suffer what people generally refer to as electoral defeat syndrome, which has become exaggerated in our present circumstances. But failure of leadership, failure of the leadership to be cohesive, to be strong, to come up and do the necessary thing to hold the party together, is what we're seeing now that the center cannot hold. I cannot blame it on anybody. I do not see any act of sabotage in this. I just think that we did not get our acts together, and we are paying seriously for that. My prayer is that we do not allow this to go for too long. Otherwise, we will be electorally punished by the Nigerian voters. I am sure about that. Why people are still grandstanding and thinking that people don't have a choice. I remember very well, what happened in 2002 or 2004, where a strong politician emerged, I think it's Yuchenko, against the popular or the established order, and took away the presidency. There's no vacancy, there's no vacuum in power pursuit.
Let me come in here, Dr. Okupe. Allow me to come in here.
Together. It is very clear that APC itself will not get its act together. Therefore, a third force may emerge, which actually is the dream of most Nigerians come in here, Dr. Okupe.
The Governors Forum, the PDP Governors Forum, used to be a very strong force, and on this matter, they have also been very vocal. And we saw a handful of them talking about the way forward. But it would seem as if your own camp of the PDP is not on the same page with the governors. Are you?
Well, the Governors Forum are part and cannot be extricated from our present problems and difficulties. For those of us who are, if I dare say, very knowledgeable about the formation of this party, its development over the years, it was at a point in time of our history that governors were elevated to the height of total and complete leadership of the party, both at the state and at the national level. These had been the bane of the party. I was a national executive member of a party that is similar in strength, if not stronger, than the PDP, the NRC. In the NRC, there was hierarchy. The party executives were in total control of the party, both at the national and at the state level. But here, under these present circumstances, it is different. We now have governors who control the states, control the national, control the party at all levels. All right, so absolute power naturally, corrupts absolutely. In PDP, unfortunately, we only have 12 or 13 governors. So that creates a very lopsided situation. But the governors did not recognize the limitation of their powers and prowess, and behaved as if it was still a time when we had 28 governors. So naturally, people resisted, and here we are.
You alluded to the fact that there will be a third force that will emerge. Can we assume that it's going to be from what, the PDP group and some of the APC, and are you going to be a part of that force?
Well, I'm going to be a part of any force that will stop doing things the same old way. We cannot, Nigeria now needs some serious-minded people, selfless people, who will put the nation and its people first. Forget about names and cliches and all that. Nigeria, the Nigerian electorate has become extremely very smart. A lot of young people have moved onto the political scene. They may not be active, but they reserve the potential, to propagate their own views and make themselves heard. I want to say this. When Abacha was leaving, a coalition was put together to receive power from the military. Now, that coalition produced the PDP, and that is why the PDP was very strong, because it amalgamated all sort of political tendencies in the country. In 2015, Bola Tinubu and his cliques, put together another coalition to wrestle power from the incumbent government and party, and it worked. In 2019, Nigeria perhaps will require another coalition, to take the country to the next level after Buhari. This is an inevitability, and it is something that Nigerian people are looking forward to. If those who want to be part of it will be part of history, those who want to still, retreat into their cocoons and believe in holding what is not real, we stay there, and the dynamics of the situation, we confine them to obscurity. That's the truth. I mean, I always say this. I hope people will also not say that I'm talking about Jesus Christ. But when Christ died, he had promised that he will rise again. But when people went to the sepulchre to be looking for him, an angel came and said, "Look, why are you looking for the living among the dead?" The situation is that both parties, the PDP, the APC, are showing signs of demise. And if you still hold on to it without, taking the good out of this, polishing it, rebranding it, and reconstructing it for the betterment of the nation, we will still be joking. Nigeria now needs new dynamism in politics. We cannot continue to do things the way we have been doing for the past 18 or so years and expect new results. And yet we need new results. This country seriously needs new results.
Dr. Okupe,
yes,
listening to you now, what comes to mind is someone who is really trying to court maybe followership. Are you not saying this because you want more support from the people, and by the time you get such support, because you're talking beautifully, just the way everyone would love to hear a Democrat speak, but they say this hasn't been the way the PDP speak.
He's a politician.
Yes, this has not been the way the PDP speaks, and I'm telling you that this is the new face of the PDP. Things must change. Things must change. Of course, I'm talking this way. I believe in what I am saying, and what I'm saying is actually the truth. We do, if PDP, I said it before, that APC is likely going to fail. It is becoming very obvious. But PDP, as it is presently constituted, is not an alternative to Nigerians. And unless the PDP gets its acts together, that a format, a crystallization of goodness, a crystallization of people who are eminent and serious and sincere. We have run things, in selfish manners. We have done things wrongly. It has always been paddy. We need now to follow the social conscience of the Nigerian people. We need a government, we need a party
isn't this
that
too
will
late for the
deliver
PDP?
to the Nigerian people. Nigerian people do not care about acclamation and names that you call yourself. Provided you can put food on the table, make petrol to be available, give them power, let them have security, and let people, have, health and education. These are the real issues. And unless we go back to these bases, anything else that we are doing politically, we are wasting our time and we are wasting the people's time. Of course, you say I speak like this. Why else can I speak? I'm a politician, born politician, practicing politician. My job is to express ideas, new ideas. We need to give hope. There's too much despair in this society. There's too much fear in this society. There's too much pain in this society. If anybody, any party, any government cannot give hope, it is a useless organization and it is unproductive, and Nigerians will reject it. It's not me. If I stay within the ambit of the old order, we will all be consigned to obscurity. I am very sure about that. It is going to happen. But if people are smart enough and are honest enough, Shakespeare says, to thine own self be true. If people are honest enough and see that, look, we have done things, PDP has done things wrongly. I was part of it. PDP has done things wrongly in the past, but that does not mean we should be killed. Like people say, the treatment of a headache is not decapitation. Just because a man has a headache, then he's going to cut his head. No, yeah, but if we know we've done something wrong and we are ready to accept it, we will now take a new step forward. But Nigerians must see that clearly that you mean it and you are doing it. Luckily, there's enough time. They have 3 years to assess you. They have 3 years to see what you're doing.
All right, Dr. Doyin Okupe, it does appear, though, that you're paving way for this third force. But as you said, what else can you do? You're a politician. Well, thank you for talking to us today, Dr. Okupe. Well, we'll be back in a moment. Join us again.